Now that it's being reported that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are being dropped by Netflix, there's now a $100 million black hole that they need to plug. So how long do you think they can afford to continue staying at Montecito Royale? Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because now it's being reported that Megxie and Hazza are being dropped by Netflix. There's now a $100 million black hole that they need to plug. So how long do you think they can continue to afford staying at Montecito Royale for? Because losing their Netflix contract, it could be reasonably suggested that this is going to plunge their finances into crisis. Now, this is being reported by The Sun. Meg ends meet. Meghan and Harry's Netflix deal disaster is killing their US dream. How will they fund their incredibly lavish lifestyle now? And so here, they're essentially turning round and saying that without the Netflix contract, it's essentially left now to Megxie to try and be the breadwinner when it comes to her brand, the fake, as I like to call it, as ever. As the article says here, quote, it raises the question of whether it will be her earnings that are increasingly relied upon to fund the family's expensive Hollywood lifestyle. And if so, will it be enough? Well, let's put it this way. Selling 10 jars of raspberry spread, apricot spread, and flour sprinkles and whatever, right? Yeah, she's gonna have to up her stock quantity to be able to try, at the very least, make her millions via her brand. Now, the article continues, quoting PR expert Nick Eade, saying, quote, Meghan is the best way of making money for the two of them. She is the breadwinner. Now, that's got a sting for Prince Hazza, right? Megxie being the breadwinner instead of him? Oh, that's got a sting. Now, the article continues to say that marketing experts Camille Moore and Philip Miller accused Megxie's brand of being not intelligent and not well executed. On their podcast, The Art of the Brand, Miller accused Megxie of trying to rinse the maximum value from her fame that came from Suits and being a part of the royal family, adding her brand wasn't one built on substance, it was based on using people, which, as far as we're concerned, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, she's done all her life. You know, there's that saying, you've been Markled. Yeah, that saying's there for a reason, guys. Now, meanwhile, Hazza, in terms of what he's bringing into the household, he's got two paying jobs, one from Better Up and one from Travelist. And his Better Up job, reportedly, he's getting paid 7 figures from that. So millions. And I remember reporting on this over the last couple of years when Better Up had to lay off a buttload of their staff. Some of them started to actually speak out in the media, and they actually turned around and said, Hazza's on a 7-figure sum per year, but we don't have really any idea what he freaking does in that company at all. And that leads me to my opinion, conspiracy theory, or whatever, when it comes to Hazza and his relationship with Better Up, which is this. I don't think he does anything for Better Up, really, in the grand scheme of things day to day. I just think he's on the books and he gets paid from them. So that supports his visa in able to continue to maintain his residence in America, to be able to prove that he can earn enough to be able to stay in America for his visa. Now, that's my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Of course, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. But let's get back to this story before I go off on a major tangent. And so, speaking of Hazza and what he's brought into the marriage, we know that he had the inheritance from Princess Diana that he said himself, without that inheritance, he wouldn't have been able to leave financially the royal family in the first place. And that his finances also got a boost last September when he turned 40. because then he had access to the trust fund that the late Queen Mother set up, which was around circa £8 million. Now, earning all those millions, right? I'd be set for life, wouldn't you? More so, you know, I'd give some away for my family, this, that, and the other. But for Harry and Meghan, that's really a drop in the ocean, okay? As the article is saying here, Harry and Meghan's lifestyle is not like most people's. They've got mortgage payments of around £350,000 per year. Staffing costs an estimated £180,000 per year. Not only that, but a year or two ago in France, they released a programme called Harry and Meghan Royal Business, which I covered. And they actually spoke to sources and experts, turning round and saying, you know, security alone at Montecito Royal will be about $2 million. Maintenance costs at Montecito Royal, you're talking another $2-3 million per year. And that's not even taken into account Lillian Archie's private education, Meg's clothes, food, the whole kit and caboodle. They're spending $5-6 million per year, essentially just on the basics for them. The basics relative to them, let's be real here, right? Yeah, how long do you think they could continue to afford staying at Montecito Royal now that they've lost this Netflix contract? As far as I'm concerned, it's definitely plunged their finances into crisis. As here, you know, Hazard has also spent on court cases and could be in line for a £1.5 million bill for his failed attempt to get the UK government to give him full taxpayer-funded security no matter what, whenever he wants it, by his standards. Speaking of which, I noticed this from According to Taz on X. Make sure you're following her on X and also subscribe to her here on YouTube as well. Saying, well, I think it's pretty obvious why Harry is now in discussions to play nice. It comes down to what it always has been, money. I saw the blind gossip that the king just paid Harry's legal bill. It's believable. Throw money at a problem and hope it goes away. Now, the discussions that Taz is talking about here is the infamous alleged peace talks, right, that was leaked over the last couple of weeks. Now, I think I found the blind item that Taz was actually referring to, and it's this one here from Crazy Days and Nights. Now, with this being a blind item, of course, do your own research, come to your own conclusions, treat it with a pinch of salt kind of situation. But this blind item came out nearly 10 days ago now, and they said, Peace Summit? How about, Dad, can you pay the money the court ordered me to pay last month because I don't have the money summit? Now, I'm assuming in this blind item that the peace summit that they're referring to here is the infamous Hazard, King Charles alleged peace summit. When they're referencing Dad, I believe they're talking about King Charles there. And when they're referencing the person that doesn't have any money left, I think they're meaning Prince Hazard there, right? So perhaps those talks weren't peace talks after all. But instead, Hazard going cap in hand to his dad, King Charles, wanting more money to pay off his mounting legal bills, seeing as now he and Megxie have lost their $100 million Netflix contract and have been unable to replace it with something else. Losing this Netflix contract, I think reasonably, could be plunging their finances into crisis as a result. With that being said, what do you guys think? If you appreciate this video and you want more, and of course you want more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Do you think Megxie and Hazard losing their Netflix contract is now going to plunge their finances into crisis? What do you guys think? Well, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.